Well, hey guys, Captain Daddy here, making a beginner's guide to the infected. I'm not going to spend a lot of time detailing each of the items in the starting area. I'm just going to relay to you that what you're looking for here is you're looking for the parts to repair the ATV. They are scattered around this lighthouse. That is the only thing that you are trying to do in this location. So I'm going to put together our ATV, and then I'm going to be right back with you guys for some tips and tricks. While you're collecting your items for the ATV, I would highly recommend taking every single item that you find along the way. My first tip comes in the form of sticks and stones. I would keep an eye out for sticks and stones, at least 2 of each, while you're collecting parts in this area. And hopefully it didn't take you too long to find the parts around this little lighthouse here. There's no Vambies here, there's no bad guys, there's no predators. The main goal here is to create this ATV to open up your mobility. There is a nice box on the back. You can put some items that you found in here. So I'm going to throw all these things in there. As far as the sticks and stones, those are the basic items you would need to build things like an axe or a pickaxe. So the first thing I would recommend is 1 stick, 1 stone, and build yourself an axe. That'll allow you to then start cutting down trees to allow access to additional sticks and stones. And you do need plant fibers to do this. You get plant fibers. I'd recommend having at least your axe and your pickaxe before you leave the starter location. That way when you pick your spot for home, you'll at least be ready to go as far as tooling. Super pro tip, I would recommend making yourself some type of defensive weapon, which you can do with a stone blade, some sticks, and some plant fiber, and I think it might be 5 fibers. You can also get fibers from bushes. Some plant fibers to make your stone spear. I would recommend not leaving this area until you have all 3 of those. Pro tip, check the mailbox before you leave, because sometimes there can be bone shards. A bone shard plus your sticks, again, would give you a more damaging weapon. 3 sticks, a bone shard, and 5 gives you a bone spear. Okay, so now we've got our ATV created. We've got some defensive weapons on us. Now we need to figure out where we're going to go on this map. We spawn in down here at the bottom right around 10 a.m. on day number 1. As you can see, there are quite a different biomes on this map, so we will briefly cover each of the primary biomes. And then you can make a decision, and I will give you a recommendation as well. While we head off to where I think we should set up base, we can talk about a few of the different biomes. Pro tip, loot the vehicles along the way and take everything. The first biome we're going to run into is a very, very heavily wooded area. As you can see, we're entering one here. This is often depicted by this darker brown, not the light brown, but this dark brown. This area is often very heavily wooded. As you can see, there is a tremendous amount of trees in these areas. Lots of shade, lots of access to water. Very nice starter area. You'll also see large amounts of stone in a very, very flat area. Most of the time, it is these dark brown areas that are the best starter positions for most new players, as they offer a nice variety of both stones, woods, wildlife, vegetation, access to water. That would be my recommendation. The other areas of the map, which are kind of this more greenish, grayish area, we are entering that area now. This is just your general land. This is your general layout of the map. Not heavily wooded, not heavy stoned. It's just what I would consider filler land. So these areas are probably not going to be very rich in resources, and I would recommend probably not building there your first game. And then of course you've got this very, very light blonde colored areas. Those are your desert areas. Very little vegetation, no shade, no water, but there is lots of clay, Lots of oil shale there, so there are resources to be found, but it is quite inhospitable, in my opinion. So now that we have access to the ATV, and this is an open world, we need to determine where we want to set up our base. We spawned in down here at the bottom of this green dot that is a point of interest, a POI. All of the other green dots on the map are small cities, small towns, and bad guys. So I would recommend being careful if you're going to set up shop near one of those POIs. Another important item on the map are these X's. These X's are caves. These caves are where you get your precious metals such as copper, cobalt, lead, aluminum, and a few other items that are only found in caves. So close proximity to a cave would be highly recommended, as you will need these precious metals as you progress through the game. Time to pick a location. I have a location in mind, so I'm going to head to our location now. While traveling throughout the map, I would recommend obeying all traffic laws. I would also recommend looting any animals, any fruits, any veggies that you see along the way. It's corn! Alright, so I think I want to set up shop here. The reason I want to set up shop here is because it looks like this area is relatively flat. I have access to a cave pretty close by. There are some towns close by, and it does look like there's water as well. So I do want to find a spot somewhere in this area. I like all the big trees. I like the shaded area. That makes me happy. Yeah, right here in the shade. I like this area. Alright. So now that we've picked a spot where we want to live for the rest of our lives, we need to claim our land. Obviously, that's done through the construction menu, and then we're just going to claim our spot. So now that we have our land claimed, we can start building on our land. The first thing you will always need is going to be a saw bench. I would recommend having no less than 2. Have 3 if you want, have 1 if you want. Each one of these requires logs, and that is the only material that's required. Chop a few trees in the area. Build our first saw bench. And I'll throw a log on there, and it will automatically convert that to planks. The bigger the tree, the harder it falls. No, not really, but the more logs you get from the tree. You can only hold 3 logs at a time. And like I said, you can get away with just having a single saw bench, but I find it 10 times more effective to have additional. See a cucumber back here, and that would be one of my recommendations as well, is as you are working through this area, I would recommend looting and salvaging anything and everything you can find. So I am going to make a few planks. I would suspect that you left the default settings, so we have plenty of time to not worry about anything attacking us. So it is time to place our foundation of where we want our building to be, and you can adjust the height up and down clearly, and you can adjust the rotation. I would highly recommend finding a location that you're happy with, placing it, not overthinking it, and just being done with it. Just like that. After you get the very first one built, well, actually, after the first one is placed, the rest of them will just directly snap onto it to keep everything nice and square. So we're going to start with a little 2x2 grid there. I'm going to grab what I can grab, and I'm going to try to balance out between cutting trees for logs and building planks. No more animation canceling on the chopping of the wood. Pro tip: while you're building your foundations out, I would highly recommend building yourself, once you get a few planks, a water basin or a catch basin, because it will most likely rain while you're setting up shop for the first time, and you will start to need water. They are kind enough to give you some water and some beef stew packs as a safety net when you first log in. Okay, now we've got ourselves a little 2x2 grid down for a foundation, which is great news. Perhaps a campfire next? Using your pickaxe, shatter one of the big boulders. Oh, we are overweight. We have a lot of stuff on us. We have plenty of stones at this point in time. Now we need some firewood. Salvage from a wood log. Just harvest. Wow, there's a firewood. Boy, that was some aggressive harvesting, huh? After we collect our parts, we get our campfire. We just threw together 8 pieces of firewood, but we can't burn it until we add additional fuel. So don't let that bother you. Gonna throw some additional fuel in there, into the center ring. As you can see, the more fuel that's in there, the fuller it gets. We can now light it with our lighter. And in this point, we can either cook food. I don't think you can do anything with corn or cucumber, but if you had meats, or if you have water that was dirty, as you can see, our thirst is at 20, so we are quite thirsty. We can drink it. Now we are out of clean water, so now we should probably find some dirty water. Any water over here? Ooh, wildlife. It's a sheep. Do we want meat? Do we want some meat? Stab it. Alright. When you pick up these animals, they are very, very heavy, and you will be very, very slow. So at the very beginning, it makes no sense for you to carry them. Just harvest them on the spot. Use your axe to harvest. You'll notice you have bloody hands. You do not want to eat anything while you have bloody hands, otherwise you run the risk of getting sick. You can come down to the river, wash your hands, move upstream, grab your canteen, fill it full of water. And now you can see we had some meat and some dirty water. So now we can go back and utilize our fire. Alright, so there's our campfire. We have 4 spots around the campfire where we can cook items. We can cook some meat here, throw our dirty water into here, and it will sanitize it for us. As you can see, the meat is cooking. You have quite a few different health bars. Health, stamina. Your stamina depletes while you're sprinting and jumping and chopping. Your hydration level. Your overall hunger level. Then, of course, your protein levels. Your fats. Your vitamins. And, of course, your energy levels. As your energy levels deplete, you will need to sleep. And then your sun resistance. If you're in the sun and it's hot, obviously you will start getting a little bit of sun sickness or sun poisoning. So you have to find shade. So we're going to have a little snack. We'll have us some food here. I wish I could roast the corn. That sounds pretty amazing. We can grab us some fresh water. Some more cucumber. Looking nice and full. We'll have us a drink here. And we're looking wonderful. It's 6 o'clock at night on day number 1, and we've got us a campfire. If you don't want the campfire to just burn, you can pour your water over that and put it out and then relight it later. If it rains, which it has not rained yet, which I find that to be interesting, I would recommend the most basic of basic shelters. Campfires will go out in the rain, so a shelter that requires 4 wood logs, such as that. Now we have a shelter. Now, in order to make this area our home, we actually need to have a bed placed in this location. That would be under furniture and bedroom. A very, very cheap old bed. We're gonna put it near the fire. You know, we're not gonna overthink it. We're just gonna put it here. 2 more planks because we had some on our inventory. I can't believe it hasn't rained yet. So we can take a nap if we need to. It will help us bring our energy levels up because we are sleeping. However, of course, all of our other vital functions will slowly deplete because time does pass at a very... and just in time, we've got some rain. So now we're sitting here. We've got this nice little camp. We're exposed to the elements. But we've got us a campfire in the rain. It's 41 degrees, so I'm going to light this campfire and see if I can warm up a little bit. There you go, 60 degrees. I mean, that's very, very comfortable, if you ask me. The other option, if you're not keen on just having a little small shelter is obviously getting your walls built. And as you can see, it's raining, so our water basin is nice and full at this point in time. We can drink the rest of our clean water. Now we have an additional 60 water. On the top will hold 200, so you can do this multiple times. I would recommend doing it while it's raining, because you get a free refill at the same time. As you're working through building your base, you'll notice that your tools in the lower left hand corner will start to deplete. As you can see, my axe is very, very low. Pickaxe looks okay. These low level tools, once they are destroyed, there is no repairing them, so it is best to just have a stone and a stick handy, just in case you get to the point where you need to recreate one. You at least have them handy. Okay, so as you can see, we made ourselves a very small 2x2 house. Just our own little home. We call it a home. Take some of this clean water, have a drink, put the fire out, have some corn. And we're looking really, really good. Well, now that we've got this little spot to call home, it's time to get a little frisky. So we can come in here and build ourselves a little storage device, a little storage box. That way, we just can get everything out of the ATV. Now the ATV is nice and lightly loaded. I would recommend keeping a gas can in the ATV at all times because you don't want to get stranded. Pro tip, if you have items in your inventory, such as planks that you cannot put back here because they will not accept once you pull them out of there, like these are now empty. What am I supposed to do with these planks? You can throw them in ghost images, and even if the ghost image doesn't complete, at least they're out of your inventory. We spawned in down here. I would recommend, especially the first time playing through, put something on the map that says looted, putting a marker on it. Now you know it's been looted. Now you know you don't need to go back there. This town, however, has not been looted yet, so I think we should go and do some looting. You'll notice that the sun is going down. It's 10 o'clock at night on day number 1. And it's really, really dark, so part of me says I should just go ahead and build myself some lights, so I want to throw a light on the ceiling. You'll notice that it says tech, not obtained. You notice there are all of these items that are locked behind technology points. Technology points are looted throughout the map, and as you gain the points, you can unlock whichever technologies you are interested in. So to find these tech points, you have to find them in the green marked POIs. So let's go do a little bit of looting so you can see how that works. Gonna hop on the ATV, turn on the lights, grip it and rip it. Again, I would recommend looting everything along the way. Now we're approaching this very, very small town. This is the very first small town on the map. As you can see, we've got a car here. We've got some corn. It's very, very dark. Would not necessarily recommend looting for the first time at night. There's a bad guy right over here in the shadows. See if I can... There's another one here. We're on the other side of this fence. I need to be cautious here. These 55-gallon oil drums in the middle, those contain extra fuel cans for the ATV and later the truck. I'd recommend keeping one on you on the ATV at all times. And I just realized that this latest patch has changed things for me. I used to recommend looting very, very quickly and early. However, you no longer spawn with a shield. You'll notice in the lower left-hand corner that there is a virus-looking bug on my character that indicates that it is an infected wound, only cured by doing a medicated bandage. I am down to 57 HP. I do not have any medical kits on us. And I do not have a shield. That definitely changes things. Patch 17 has definitely changed things. To make the shield, you need, I believe, 3 planks, 25 iron. This guy's going to beat my butt. I don't think I can dodge him either. I cannot dodge him. I'm just going to have to brawl him. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, luckily he's running. Oh, he's running. This ball. Woo wee, boy. There's our second type of wound. That is just a standard wound with a standard bandage. So now that we've cleared this area, I'm very confident that there's nothing else here. You can see that there is an extra gas can here, and we can start looting this area. I would, again, recommend taking everything that you see in the beginning of the game, having access to everything. And here is our very first tech page, a white piece of paper sitting on, in this example, a little nightstand. Interacting with it, now we see we have one tech point. We are free to spend that technology point on any one of these items that we would like to learn. Bathrooms are where you would typically find your medical equipment. In this example, we have not found any medical equipment, so that is small concern because we have 15 HP at this point. We're going to continue looting. Maybe we're going to get lucky here. Lots of potatoes. Ah, yes. The glorious gods have smiled upon us. We now have medkit for 50 HP. I'm going to go ahead and use that immediately. Now that this area has been looted, there's nothing else here for us. We're going to get out of here. We're going to go home. Or we could go do some more looting. Okay. Now we're back home. As you can see, we brought back quite a bit of stuff with us. That was a very successful. As I just mentioned, this new patch has kind of changed the way the game is being approached. You used to spawn in, your character would have a shield. You no longer have that benefit. You now have to craft that shield. And to craft that shield, you need 3 planks and 25 iron fragments. Well, our planks come from our saw benches. We learned that earlier. However, the iron fragments, how do we get those? Iron fragments are smelted. And they are smelted on stone forges. So a stone forge, such as this one, requires, obviously, 25 small stone. So let's collect our stones. Alright, now that we got ourselves a little stone forge, we need some firewood for inside of it, or you could use one of your coals. If you happen to get lucky and find a coal is 100% full, so that's very nice. And then we can light our little stone forge here. We can throw a couple stones at the top, and as those smelt down, those will turn into some iron fragments. And as the timer completes, you can see we have our first 2 iron fragments. 2 more stones go in, 2 more fragments come out. Double the power, double the speed, double the stone forges. The world is your oyster. We still have plenty of clean water here, with some clean water on us. As you can see, our energy levels are starting to get quite low. It is getting late, but I will give you a quick rundown of the menus. Obviously, we have our backpack. Then we have our food backpack. Those are basically just 2 separate inventories. Then we have our weapons. You hold up to 4 slots and 4 slots only. Then we have our build menu, which we discovered pretty early in the game. Our crafting menu, which is limited to just a handful of items that you can craft on your person. Eventually, you will need some of the items, such as your workbench, advanced workbench, chemistry tables, repair tables, butcher tables. Eventually, you will go down that rabbit hole. To unlock all of these are all locked behind tech points. So if you wanted to unlock your advanced workbench, you would need to come into here and spend one of your points. We have one on the advanced workbench, for example. Next, we have our character window, all of our item slots, body temperature, outside temperature. As the temperatures goes down, we will need to start worrying about items to keep us warmer. There are winter clothes. There are very fashionable cargo pants for summer months. There's body armor for additional protection. There are hats for sun resistance. All kinds of items in here to play with. Look at that. A couple more iron fragments. Throw one more iron fragment in there. As I'm waiting for these stones to smelt, I was sitting here thinking that I would really like to have a bow, because they are just, it seems a little bit safer these days, as opposed to not having a shield. I need to stay ranged, and that is crafted by the player or on the workbench. So that's good news. We can craft it without the workbench. Okay, so that's good news. To make the bow, we just need 1 stick and 3 ropes. All right. I don't have any rope. How do I make rope? Let's go into the Itempedia. Rope. Craft on the workbench only. We need 2 plant fibers. Workbench only. All right. Well, I guess we need us a workbench. Let's place us a workbench. Workbench. What do we need for that? 10 planks and 10 nails. Do I have 10 nails? Nope. I have 7 nails. Do I have any planks? Not sitting around. Oh no. Well, I guess we need to get chopping, huh? Let's just make us some planks. Beautiful. Got some planks here. What do we need? No more planks? How about you? Alright. Need 3 more nails. Well, those are done. Those are nice. Alright. Alright. Notice they stack into 5. 5 iron fragments. Smelted will make 1 iron ore. So how do we make nails? Alright. What do we think nails are under? Ah, yes, nails. We need an iron ingot. Craft on the anvil. Uh-oh. Anvil. Ah, yes, an anvil. Yes. That's what we need, is an anvil. Anvil. 8 planks, 5 iron ingots. 8 planks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many is that? We need 2 more iron ingots. Excuse me, 2 more planks. So 5 iron ingots. We've got 1 forming here. So as you can see, we are quickly heading down the rabbit hole. We need 5 iron fragments from 5 stones to make 1 iron ore. Iron ore, or an iron ingot. We need 5 iron ingots to make an anvil. Once we have the anvil built, we would need another iron ingot to convert those into nails. And those nails would then make us a workbench. And then we could take that workbench. And there we go. Oh, and now we're tired and dizzy. So I think this concludes our day. I hope you guys found this guide somewhat useful. Leave a comment below if there was something you would like to see in the next guide, or if something I said is incorrect. But for now, we're going to take a nap, let our energy levels recoup, wake up about, I don't know, 8 or 9 in the morning. It's a beautiful sunny day, and we're going to continue our grind on the infected. Maybe do some exploring, maybe do some looting, maybe check out a cave. Do whatever you'd like to do. Appreciate you guys watching this little beginner's guide. Hope you found it helpful. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you later. It's Captain Daddy. I'm out of here. See ya.